Welcome, everyone. Happy Friday. I'm Sara, and this is Restorative Yoga. So today we're going to move through a few poses, restorative poses that are going to help kind of open up our lungs. It's kind of to improve our breathing. So that's kind of the focus of our practice today. So hopefully you've gathered up all your props and you have them nearby. And you don't have to take off socks. You can keep your layers on because we're not going to be moving a whole lot. We'll be in poses for anywhere from 1 minute up till 10 to 15 minutes. So, and we'll take a couple minutes just to get into the poses. I'll start a timer and then I'll bring you out of the poses. Okay. And then we'll do a nice long Shavasana at the end with a guided meditation. All right. So we'll go ahead and get started. So we're going to begin with a fairly intense pose. So this one, usually restorative poses are not very intense. This one is a little bit intense, so we're not going to stay in it for very long. So I'm going to use a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, you can grab a couple of blankets. And I would just do the flat fold like this, kind of folded in this type of shape. The pose that we're going to do is called side lying stretch. I'm actually going to also put a pillow on top of my bolster because when I tried this earlier, I wanted a little extra cushion. But you can see I'm pretty high up, but I have fairly a lot of flexibility through the sideways, so you might want to be lower to the ground to start. And then if you revisit this practice, maybe you'll make it a little bit higher, but I would start lower and then you can always increase the height. So we're going to come onto our side and kind of drape our side over the bolster, blankets, whatever you have, so that your ribs are supported. In the book that I was looking at, it said your hip and your shoulder should not touch the ground. However, if they do touch the ground, I think that that's fine. And then we're going to take this bottom arm and extend it out, and then just rest your head on the arm. And then our top leg, we're going to move a little bit forward, and our back leg, we're going to move a little bit back. So try to move them equal distance away from the center of your body. And then this top arm, you can rest it on your side. If you want a little bit more sensation, you can reach that arm up and over. And then I'm going to set a timer here for 1 minute. So we're working on stretching out and opening up the ribs, the little muscles in between our ribs, which are called the intercostal muscles. So just opening up that one side of the body. We will do this on the other side. So feel free once you're in the pose to close your eyes. And if this becomes too intense for you at any point, please go ahead and just release out of it. And that really goes with any pose. This is really the only one where I would worry about that. Well, there might be one other a little bit later on that might be a little on the intense side. Ideally, restorative poses should be relaxing and restful. I think my timer turned itself off. Okay, we'll go ahead and call that a minute. And let's just go ahead and come up and we'll do the other side. So turning around and resting your side on your bolster or blankets. And then again, the top leg moves forward, the bottom leg moves back. The bottom arm extends and we rest the head on the arm. Let's see if I can get this timer to work again. All right. And then this top arm can stay down, you can rest it on your side, or you can reach it up and over. So you get the most stretch if you take that arm up and over, but if that bothers your shoulder, then just leave it down, it's fine. All right. That was a minute, but I'm going to hold it a little while longer just because we held it longer on the first side. I'm almost positive. And we'll stay here for a few more breaths. And then we'll go ahead and release. Okay, so for this next pose, this is one that we have done before in previous classes. It's called Mountain Brook. And so if you think of the way that a brook kind of goes through, it kind of makes these waves, these curves, it goes over rocks. So we want to make the body sort of into that undulation. So we want to have a support under the neck. So I really like this little fleece blanket that I just rolled up. And then we want support under the upper part of the back and then support under the knees. So I'm going to use my pillow here, and then I have a blanket underneath my upper back. And then I've got this little blanket. I like to kind of tuck it around my neck, like almost like one of those neck pillows you wear on the airplane. So once you're ready, oh, and here's where the eye pillow would be great if you have one, or like I said, you could use just a folded over washcloth. And we'll be here for 5 minutes. So I'm going to set my timer. And you can rest your arms just down by your sides. So while we're here, just kind of scan the body real quick. Noticing any areas of tension where maybe you're still kind of holding on. And just letting go of that tension, whether it be in your head and your face, Your shoulders and neck. Sometimes it's an unusual place, like your hips, even your hands, maybe in your jaw. If you notice that your mind starts to wander, just bring your attention to your breath. Go ahead and make our way out of this pose. Just rolling to one side and then pressing up to a seat. So we're going to do our supported bridge for our next pose. So if you have a firm block, that would be the best prop for this next pose. If you don't, you can just stack some blankets up or some pillows up. But I'm just going to use my block because I have one. So still on our backs. You can keep your neck roll too. That would be just fine. and your eye pillow, because we'll be on our backs again. And then with knees bent, we're gonna lift our hips up, sliding the block or your pillows or blankets or whatever you have underneath your back. And if you want, you can straighten your legs to get a little bit more of an opening here. However, if that bothers your back, then keep your knees bent. Make sure that block is in the exact right spot for you. So you might want to shift around a few times and just make sure it's really where it feels best. And then again, we can use the eye pillow, and we will be in this pose for 5 more minutes. You can rest your arms down by the sides again. And just following the breath. Go ahead and release. So we'll start by lifting the hips up and removing the block, and then releasing down to the floor, moving on to one side. And then pressing up to a seat. All right. So next we are going to do legs up the wall. If you don't have a good spot on your wall handy, you can do use your chair instead and put your lower legs on your chair like that. Okay, so that's your option if you don't happen to have a good spot on your wall. Sometimes if you've got a lot of furniture pushed up against the wall, you don't have space. You notice I moved my dresser over. And if you'd like, you can elevate your hips a little bit. I'm going to do quite a bit because I have a lot of flexibility in my back. So I'm going to do my bolster and my pillow for a more elevated version of this pose. I'm going to grab my eye pillow and my neck roll as well. Okay. So if you're going to be elevating your hips, you're going to want to sit down kind of on top of your props a little bit, kind of on the edge of it. And then lie down and oh so gracefully take your legs up the wall. So I already know I'm going to have to adjust here. So I'm going to need to scoop myself in a little bit more. Or, you know what, I'm just going to move the props out where I need them. So my bottom's actually not touching the wall. I'm maybe about, I don't know, a foot away from the wall. What did I do with my eye pillow? Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. We'll be here for about 5 minutes. I'm going to try and scooch myself in a little bit closer. Maybe I'll get rid of one of these. That was a bit too much, I think. Okay. We'll just do the bolster. There we go. The goal is to not kill yourself trying to get into these. All right, that's better. Okay. Eye pillow if you're using one. And we'll set my timer for 5 minutes again. All right, enjoy. Once you're in these poses, you might notice that as the time ticks by that you gradually find deeper relaxation into the pose. You'll find your body starts to release a little bit more. All right, go ahead and release. So I'm actually going to take this bolster out first before I come down. And then just roll to your side and press your way up to the seat. Okay. So we are going to take our chair now and we're going to flip it upside down so that, and I do like to do this up against a wall. If you don't happen to have a wall, you can just lay it on your floor. Hopefully it won't slide out away from you. But basically we're making a ramp with the back of our chair, okay? And then from there, we can make that ramp nice and comfy. So I'm just gonna put one of my nice king size pillows just to rest my back on. So for this next pose, it is called reclining hero, and in a regular yoga practice, reclining hero, I'll just show you quickly. You kind of sit down in between your legs and then you lie all the way back, okay? So if you have knee issues, reclining hero is probably not for you. So if that is the case, we'll still use our chair setup. And your options are just to keep your legs extended and just rest here like this, with your arms down by your sides. And you can prop underneath the arms if you want. You can grab some blankets and put them underneath your arms if you don't like your elbows kind of hanging down. Or you can do sort of a reclining butterfly where you bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees open out to the sides. And you can also support those knees. If you want to do reclining hero, we're going to keep our knees kind of close together. And then what I like to do is I like to take my thumbs and kind of roll the flesh of my thighs out so that I can actually sit down in between my knees. The other thing you can do to make this less intense is sit on a block. Okay, so then you're not sitting all the way down on the floor. Okay. So this is the other one that can be intense. And then eye pillow, maybe neck roll here as well. I don't know, do I want the neck roll? Yeah, I do want the neck roll. Okay, so we're gonna hold this for 5 minutes. And if you are in the reclining hero and after a couple minutes, you're like, you know what, this is a no-go, just go ahead and take your legs out in front of you and just take them out straight. Okay, so no worries. So put that eye pillow in place. And I'm gonna set my timer again for 5 minutes. There we go. Okay. So again, another fairly intense pose. Arms can rest down by the sides. We want to make sure that our feet are in kind of a neutral position so we're not turning our toes out or our heels out. And just think about the ribs and the lungs expanding in all directions. All right, we'll go ahead and release. If you had your legs back, go ahead and bring them around to the front. You need to kind of shimmy shake them out. You cut off the circulation at all. Mine are actually doing okay. Go ahead and come up to a seat. So next, we are going to flip the chair back over the way it's supposed to go. And we're going to just sit down in front of it with our legs crossed. I'm actually going to elevate my hips a little bit with a blanket. And then if you don't have a padded seat like mine is, you might want to put a blanket or a pillow on the seat of your chair, because we're going to rest our heads on kind of on our hands on the chair. So go ahead and set yourself up. And then we'll be in this pose for, again, I think 5 minutes. Oh, actually, a little bit longer than 5 minutes. Maybe let's do 7 minutes for this one. Okay, all right. So you can rest your head on your hands. You can take your forehead all the way onto your blanket or the seat of your chair. And you can adjust how close that chair is to you. If you want a little bit more, you can move it away from you so you're a little bit more of a fold. And you can always extend your legs out straight if you have room to straighten them out underneath your chair, or you can take them out into sort of like a little straddle position. So if you're sitting cross-legged, if you like, you can kind of switch the cross of your legs. We're about halfway through. And we settle. Go ahead and release. All right, so all we have left is our final relaxation. So very similar to our mountain brook, except we won't have anything underneath the upper back. So you want to support for under your knees and under the neck. And of course the eye pillow if you're using one today. So I'm going to set up in it and then I'm going to get out of it because I'm going to read the guided meditation for you guys. So neck roll, knee roll. So the knees are supported by the pillow or your blankets. If you're using blankets, just roll them up. And then another small roll under your neck. And then your eye pillow. And if you've got extra blankets you want to cover up with, or if you want to put some extra layers on, because we are going to be in this one for about 15 minutes. So while you guys get set up, I'm going to get myself set up on my meditation cushion. I'm going to take a sip of my water. You can also, if you're not in New Mexico, if you're on the East Coast and it's darker out, you can turn off your lights, make it darker in your space. All right. So when you're ready, settle in. Settle back comfortably and begin to focus on your breathing. Take deep breaths in through your nose and exhale out of your mouth. Continue to breathe in and out several times, allowing the breath to come deeper and deeper from your lower lungs and diaphragm, allowing any worries or concerns you may have to drift through your mind and out with your breath, letting your breath clear your mind as you begin to relax. Begin to think about your body and its many different parts. Pay attention to how each part of your body is feeling. Does your back feel comfortable? Are your feet relaxed? Is there noticeable pain anywhere in your body? Just notice the sensations in your body without trying to change them. Take a deep breath in through your nose, bringing the air all the way down into your diaphragm, feeling your stomach rise, letting the air move up into your lungs, expanding your rib cage. Now exhale through your mouth. Take another deep breath in through your nose. Notice how the air feels inside your lungs as it gradually expands them from the bottom, pushing the sides of your lungs out towards the wall of your chest, filling your lungs all the way up to the very top under your collarbone, fully exercising their capacity. And then exhale again through your mouth. Breathe several more times this way, concentrating on the path that the air takes. Inhale deeply again through your nose and focus on your feet. Release the tension out of each heel. Let all of the tension from the entire day flow out of your heels, like air being released from a tire. Perhaps today's stress and tension have made you feel like a heavy, wet towel dumped on the floor, soaked with weight. Imagine yourself lying flat, drying in the sun, and letting your tension evaporate into the air around you. Take another deep breath and turn your attention to your lower legs. Notice how they feel. As this breath of air fills up your diaphragm and moves into your lungs, feel the blocked up tension being released from your legs, along with the air of your breath. If you detect any tension in your legs, inhale again and breathe it out. Next, visualize your knees and upper legs. Become aware of how they are feeling. Notice any tension that is damming up the easy flow of relaxation, and exhale the tension away as you release your breath. You can now feel that your knees and upper legs are free from tension. Now direct your breathing power to your hips and buttocks. Do they feel locked and tight? Loosen them up as you breathe deeply in through your nose. Concentrate on each part individually, noticing the tension, allowing it to release as you exhale. With each breath, all of your muscles, ligaments, and joints will be loosened more and more as you allow yourself to sink further into the surface your body is resting on. Next, search for any discomfort that you may find in your abdomen. As your stomach rises slowly with another deep breath, picture yourself floating easily in a calm lake. While staying afloat, capture the tension in this breath, bringing it up into your lungs and releasing it through your mouth. Feel your abdomen relax and settle. Now approach the diaphragm and chest area. Most of the tension has been released here already, as deep breaths of air have been traveling in and out. Yet faint remnants of stress may still remain. Inhale, collecting those last traces of the hectic day, and expel them through your mouth. Now turn your attention to your upper back, shoulders, and neck. The muscles here may feel a little distorted and tense. Let them weigh heavy and sink you further into your support. As the weight of your shoulders brings you down a few inches, begin to concentrate on the joints in your shoulders. As you inhale deeply again, begin to feel these parts as light, lax, and free from tension. Exhale away the stress that has made them tense. Now move up to your head. Let it become as loose as your neck and shoulders. Let this light feeling encompass your entire head, sinking you into another level of relaxation. Shift now to your lower back. Consider the pressure that has been focused onto your lumbar region all day, supporting the weight of your head, shoulders, and torso. Now imagine a small sun rising behind you, warming each vertebrae of your back. As it rises with your breathing, as you breathe in deeply, feel your spine warm and widen itself. Feel it lengthen and notice each vertebrae decompress. Now become aware of your forehead and eyes. Feel the lines on your forehead fade away as you exhale, leaving it smooth and loose. Let another breath fill your diaphragm. And as you release it, let your eyes loosen from the stress and sink further into relaxation. Feel how loose each body part has become, and let it sink a little bit further. Now turn your attention to your arms and hands, and picture a pot of water boiling. Imagine your stress as steam escaping from your body. Inhale deeply, and as you exhale, allow all the steam to pass from your upper arm, through your biceps, down your elbow and your forearms, your wrists, and out through your fingertips. Become aware of your entire body. Take another deep breath and enjoy its rejuvenating power as it clears out all traces of tension. Notice your jaw and teeth. Feel your jaw relax as its tiny muscles become loose and tension-free. Now that you are relaxed, remember this feeling. Notice how it feels to be totally relaxed. Your entire body feels loose and calm. Remember this feeling. Practice recalling this feeling of peace and tranquility whenever you need it. Now let yourself out of this deep state of relaxation gradually. Continue your deep breathing as you move your fingers, wiggle your toes, circling ankles and wrists. And reaching the arms up overhead. Take a nice full body stretch. And release. Rolling to one side and taking several deep breaths on your side before you come up to a seat. Finding a comfortable seat. When you're ready, and we'll just finish our practice today by taking 3 deep breaths. Inhaling, reaching arms up. Exhaling them down. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. One more time, inhaling, arms up. Bringing the hands together at heart center as we exhale. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.